So we are here today with Mairead Corrigan, Prize Nobel in 1976. We had a conference about NATO and we discussed a lot of points, but I just another one to ask you. What has been the role of the Ukraine crisis in the NATO shipment towards the Russian borders?
Well, that has created a lot of tension in that particular area. And I feel that we need to look at how we bring down the fear and the tension and solve the problem through diplomacy, through dialogue. So I would like to see the sanctions against Russia lifted and the European Parliament to play its role in bringing the different parties around the table and accepting that there can be cooperation and the agreement to respect each other be upheld. It's a very dangerous situation if tension is allowed to grow in that particular area. And we don't need another Cold War. We need cooperation. And people in Europe should not be made to choose between Russia and America.
That's the point.
We don't need that old kind of politic. We can be friends with both, and we can work with both in order to develop economic development and cooperation and to begin the process across Europe of disarmament and building economic development. So I am hopeful that the process, and we've seen what the diplomats were able to do in Iran.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a wonderful achievement that
That's
we
why-
have the Iranian nuclear deal. We need now a good deal done by the diplomats
That's,
in the Iranian situation.
That's why in Italy, as five-star movement, we asked since the first moment to left the sanction to Russia. But then, in the common idea, Russia is the evil in this moment, and the United States is the angel. So we are trying to make this idea go through. That we are like a small country in the middle of two giant blocks, and we need to cooperate in terms of diplomacy. So sanctions are the first point
Yes.
to stop this second Cold War and restart a real dialogue. And we now have also the point of the ISIS terrorism in Middle East, and that's why we always say that if Russia is fighting against Daesh. In this moment, we have a common enemy, I would say. But even there, we should block any kind of idea of bombing and try to stop the real problem. And it is the funding that they got from the Saudi Arabia country and all the countries on that area where we cooperate in terms of companies and all that word. It's really hypocrisy at the end. We pay with one hand Saudi Arabia, and then we want to fight ISIS. Don't think that are the same things at the end.
Yes, and we need to stop all the wars. I mean, we have seen since 9/11, we have seen a perpetual war. We have seen NATO carrying out wars against Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Syria. I've been to Syria. I see foreign fighters in Syria, paid for, trained by Western governments and Saudi Arabia, trying to bring down an elected government in Syria. This idea of regime change is absolutely
It's the same that has been done
unacceptable.
in Libya, and today we are worse than before. So,
Yes.
and we said the same. We have to now to support Assad, and then maybe to think about how to help them to go toward a real democracy, not force them to go there. Help them. This is pretty different.
Yes.
Another question only that I'm really interested in. I know that you have been fighting a lot for the rights in Palestine. What do you think is the situation now? Because my point of view is that Israel has felt this to be abandoned by the United States last years. So they have fallen into a more nationalism than before. Obviously, who is suffering for this nationalism is the Palestine people. So what do you think is the situation now?
Well, I've been many times to Palestine, and unfortunately I can't get into Israel or Palestine. I've been deported 3 times from Israel purely for protesting for the rights of the Palestinian
From the only democracy
people.
in Middle East.
For protesting the rights. But I mean, there are 8 million refugees, Palestinians all around the world who are not allowed to go back into their country.
Yeah.
And part of the problem in the Middle East is the destabilization coming from policies like Israel, who is abusing human rights, denying international law
And the right to come back of the
refugees, and absolutely ignoring 60 odd resolutions from the UN that says Israel should be upholding human rights. So we really need to say to Israel,
Netanyahu just said that the UN is against Israel. That's why they don't respect the UN resolutions. That's the incredible point of view.
Israel is part of the world community.
Yeah.
And they are brothers and sisters. And yes, they have suffered tremendously in the past. But Israel now needs to recognize we're in a new world now. We need to cooperate. We need to uphold human rights and international laws. And it is key to peace in the Middle East. So what we as the international community must insist that Israel end the occupation of Palestine, allow the right to return of the Palestinian people, and start abiding by international law. So we have to take action like boycott and divestment against Israel until they uphold international law and human rights. So, and it's a key to peace in the Middle East. And if there was change in Israeli policies and Palestinians had their rights, you know, it would send a whole hope
there would
around
be
the Middle East.
a wide dialogue again with whoever.
So.
Thank you, Mairead Corrigan. It was really a pleasure to be with you. By me, it was really an honor, not only a pleasure. And hope to see you again soon.
Gracias. And good luck to you.